And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful Corona-free day. Today is Friday, November the 5th at 5:21 in the morning. How are you doing? So, here's the thing. Y'all heard of O.C.D before, obsessive compulsive disorder. Well, you know, I don't really like the name of that. But the thing is, I definitely have it. There's a weird caveat to what I'm saying, though. What if I said obsessive compulsive disorder, O.C.D, right, was actually called winning personality disorder? Now, what do I mean by that? I'll tell you. You know, I truly believe, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to make my next video about this. I truly believe that if you look at like the Michael Jordan of whatever, okay, of himself, okay, a Olympian, the guy who has a winning attitude, they are obsessed. That's the first part of obsessive compulsive. They're obsessed, okay? They also have to do something. I can almost guarantee you, if you ask them a certain repetition, and I don't mean like it has to be like an even or odd number. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm getting at is they have to do a certain amount of things. Otherwise, they feel like they're not doing enough. And usually with this, the C, which is compulsive, it's usually a high number of what I'm saying, right? Nobody says they're obsessive compulsive. They have to do one thing just once. I mean, maybe, I'm sure it exists, right? And then the disorder part, I don't really feel like being a champion, a winner, etc. is a bad thing. So I'm going to throw that term out. So hypothetically, if obsessive compulsive disorder were to be called winning personality achievement or just some other name, okay, it would have a completely different connotation. Now, here's the reason why I say that. I feel like to say I have obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, is a strange thing to say because, again, it has that negative connotation, but it only applies to certain aspects that I'm obsessed with, okay? For example, comedy, okay? I'm obsessed about it. I really, truly am. To the point of where I go to bed late at night just thinking of kind of like about like one line or one phrase or pausing or doing something, and I constantly have different things that I can record myself on if I'm not away from my phone. If I'm away from my phone, hypothetically, so that I can record myself if I come up with a good idea or something like that. You know, I am really dedicated, but I mean it. I believe that there's like a certain level of addiction to your to whatever it is. You know, like let's just say a guy has OCD, but his thing is touching things. I'm just giving an example. Well, maybe if this guy has a compulsion for whatever reason to touch things, he goes in the store, he has to touch everything in the store. Like, oh my gosh, whatever, right? All right. That doesn't mean that he would have to, every time he enters a building, yell something. Like, I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of like weird little quirks about people and everything. But if anything, I can almost guarantee you that there's a realm of OCD that has to do with winning. That has to do with the mentality of being the best. Now, what mine is specifically, and this applies in all honesty to like a lot of things, but it drives mostly to two things. And that is finishing things that I started. Okay? So I'm just giving you a few examples of things that I did do and then I'm still doing now. Things that I did do. Okay? I said that, you know, I was going to do all these special programs that I did in the Army, that I would pass them and everything. I'm in the Army, I did these special programs, I passed them, I did very well. And that was one small thing. But I was on that road, I was on that path, and I said, I gotta finish it, because there's just something inside me. I have to finish things. I have to, okay? If I were to do the dishes, in a much different example, okay? If I were to do all the dishes if I'm cleaning dishes and stuff, I'm getting ready to do the dishwasher. If my girl were to come behind me and put one fork in the dishwasher, I feel in a weird way like she takes credit. Not like it's a competition, but still. If I start something, I gotta finish it. I gotta finish it. In the exact way for me doing comedy, I have to be a professional comedian. I have no other choice, because fortunately it pairs with who I am, all right, as an artist and whatnot. But I only have one option, which is to be a professional comedian, and that's it. I'm on the road. And there's no finishing this road, but in general, there is a end point before I can continue to stay on that point. So it's a streamline. I'm going to continue to be going forward, but it's like there's certain checking points that I got to make, and that's one of the longest, not the end, but one of the longest points. Okay, me being a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I got to be a black belt. Not today and not tomorrow. I don't care. It's not about getting a belt, but it's about not really finishing, but getting the end of the line, kind of similar to comedy, before really starting to go out even further. Black belt, essentially, without getting too technical, is pretty much the last belt, but I'm a white belt right now. Then it goes from white to blue, blue to purple. Oh no, blue to purple, purple to brown, brown to black, and that's it. There's even something that's called like it's basically a belt that's red. All right, and but you only get that after being like a black belt for like 20 years, and got to do all these other things and stuff. But anyway, wow, I look really pale today. Feel free to check me out on video. But anyway, but yeah, I was talking with a buddy of mine on the phone last night, and I was telling him how basically when I start something, I have to finish it. But fortunately, for this compulsion that I have, when it's applied to the right thing, and not just that, it's something that I'm passionate about, I truly feel like there's a driving force in addition to just passion. It's addiction. And honestly, it really is like a secret weapon. Last night when I went to bed, I was thinking about both comedy and a certain move in jiu-jitsu that I was up to like 11:30 at night. I was in bed around like 10. I was up to like 11:30. I was up past that, but for about an hour and a half before I kind of stopped thinking about it. It was around like 11:30, and I kept thinking about this material that I'm working on in comedy and this move in jiu-jitsu. I said this before and I'll say it again. I'm a big believer that when you do something, if it balances out something else, it'll bring that other thing into focus. So for example, if you only do one thing, if you're a professional athlete and all you do is football, just give me an example, for example, right? If you also take up something like golf, getting you thinking in a different way, I'm giving an example, okay? But maybe something even better, such as jiu-jitsu, which has to do with technique and strategy, not your weight, not your strength, but technique and strategy. It'll make your football better. I guarantee you. And it's been proven. It's been proven the exact way that if you do multiple sports, it will bring out the sport that you are best at. So I'm saying, like, if you're really great at football, and on the other season you do baseball, I'm not saying that you're really going to be better at baseball. Maybe that might happen. But there's a weird balance that happens when you do a diverse activity that helps. It's like you're getting good at two things at once, okay? And preferably the things that you care about and you're passionate about, okay? Hunting, fishing, all that stuff is awesome. I don't really do it to the extent that I would like to, okay? And that, reminds me, I got to do another video called Not Enough Hours, because there's so much things that I want to do in a day. But at a certain point, and it gets dark, and like I'm always just trying to squeeze the most out of a day, because there's not enough hours. So, but anyway, I just wanted to make a quick video addressing that, because I love comedy, and it is who I am as an artist, and I love jiu-jitsu, and it brings out who I am as a warrior, army vet, myself. That's me. Okay? You can be more than one thing. But I truly believe by doing more than one thing, it balances you out with the other and vice versa. And if there are two things that you really love and or care about and passionate about, both get better. For real. I guarantee you. But because I'm on this path, number one, there's no such thing as taking a day off of who you truly are. And I really am a warrior, and I really am an artist. It really does sound kind of douchey to say, pardon my French, but in all honesty, that's who I am. Okay? And I'm passionate about my warrior spirit, and I'm passionate about me being an artist. Seriously. On Saturday and on the weekends, I have my alarm set to make the most out of a day. I'm out of bed on the weekends, zero exaggeration, 4 a.m., I'm starting to work on comedy, then I rotate from that back to jiu-jitsu, and I keep going back and forth, and keep making each sharper, okay? It really, really does. Just try it out. I'm telling you, just do a diverse activity, preferably something that you like, or in my case, even are passionate about. But between something that you're passionate about and being compulsive about it, like you got to get that championship belt. You got to make that point. You will be there on that free throw line until you make a certain amount. Doesn't matter if it's 1 o'clock in the morning, but guess what? It'll make you better. Because when you go back there and you try to make those certain amount of free throw shots, maybe you'll get it by midnight. Then it'll be 10 a.m. All right? Then you're just going to be making buckets. You're going to be making shots all day. All day, like it was nothing. I truly believe that when you are addicted, have a compulsive obsession about something, and you're combining that with something that you're passionate about, those are, in my opinion, the biggest keys to not just success, but to following through with whatever your goal is. And I'm not really speaking for everybody else. That part's just a sort of a theory. I'd love to have a conversation with Michael Jordan and ask him these things, or some other extreme athletes, to hear their perspective and their points of view on stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they have their own little quirks and other weird compulsive things that they got to do. Such as me, as I mentioned, on a much smaller scale, something that I don't care at all about, okay, is doing the dishes. I do them, but I don't care about it. Not at all. No. If I had paper plates and cups every single day, I'd be fine. I wouldn't be angry. I don't. It'd be more expensive. But, yeah. But anyway, but even finishing that to a much smaller degree, but that's something I'm not passionate about. But when you combine it with something you are passionate about, you do care about, I truly believe that's where the greatest results lie. So, I feel like knowing what your weapons are is another great way of utilizing it. So, anyway, with that being mentioned, some interesting comments, some interesting ideas and everything. But y'all have a beautiful day. I'm Benja Welldone. Check me out. I got a comedy show coming up just in about like a week, 8 days. So anyway, I'm excited about it, and y'all have a beautiful day. I'm Benja Welldone. Check me out. Peace.